All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody that's out there on LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitch and actually on Instagram, if you're right down here. Hello. Good afternoon. I wanted to come to you today. I want to do this live today. Many of you know me because you've seen me on live streams on Facebook and other places. I host Context and Clarity, which yesterday we streamed out to all the services. I do that every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern. But I really wanted to talk for just a few minutes today about this idea of our ideal mindset. I want to give you a little bit of background. A couple of weeks ago, I was asked by a group to do a presentation, to speak to their group about profit. They said, "Hey, will you come speak to us?" I said, "Sure, I'll come do a presentation. What do you want me to talk about?" They said, "We want to talk about profit." I said, "Okay, that's interesting." And those of you that know me know that I probably, I took it in a different direction than what they were thinking that I would take, because it seems to me that they were probably expecting me to talk about systems, the systems inside their organization, the systems inside their company for being profitable, for managing profit. But here's the problem. When we have those systems in place, when you build a quote unquote profitable business, you build a profit engine inside of your firm, you still are missing a couple of things. Number one, if you have the greatest profit engine ever, but you put the wrong fuel into that engine, you've got a problem. It's very, very hard to be profitable if you're not putting the right things into the profit engine. And number two, there are a lot of businesses, there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of firms out there right now that are very, very busy. Maybe they're busier than they've been in a long time, despite everything that's gone on in the last 12 months with a global pandemic, with an election, with social and economic strife all over the world. They're really busy right now, but many of those business leaders that I talk to are not really doing the work that they want to do. They're taking on projects, they're taking work, they're taking clients, they're taking customers that aren't really the work, the clients, the customers, et cetera, that they want to be working with. They're taking it out of fear, and they're just not loving their business right now. They're just not loving what they're doing. They're staying alive. They're taking things to survive, but they're not taking the things that they really want. And, sort of the culmination of that presentation and all of these conversations that I get to have, and I really appreciate having access to a lot of business leaders and talking to them and learning what they're doing and what's going on in their businesses right now. The culmination of those two things really drove me towards launching this thing next week that I'm calling the Ideal Mindset Challenge. It's a challenge that I'm going to go through with you. I'm challenging you right now to join me next week for the Ideal Mindset Challenge so we can spend 5 days changing our mindset, changing our focus to only be on our ideal clients or our ideal customers, whoever they are. So what do we have to do in order to get there? Number one, we have to understand who they are. So we're going to do things like, who's your best client ever? Who's your most favorite client of all time? Who's your least favorite client of all time? And why? Why were they your favorite? Why were they your least favorite? What makes up this person as an ideal client? What makes up this person as our less than ideal client? How do we find more of those people? We'll go through this process of understanding who our ideal is, what makes them tick, what it is that they value, what it is that they care about. And then we'll wrap the whole thing up after 5 days with what's the message to those ideal clients. How do we create a one-liner? How do we create an elevator pitch that helps us connect with these ideal clients? Because that's the key, right? Once we know who that ideal client is, Once we understand who that ideal client is, we want to find more of them. So how do we talk to them in a way that's really meaningful to them, that really resonates with them? So we'll spend 5 days doing that. I'll talk more about the structure of that in just a second. But again, the key is, who's our ideal client? How do we focus only on that ideal client? And then how do we find more of those ideal customers or clients? That's the challenge for the week. 5 days. The way to work is I've set up a private Facebook group that we can walk through this together. If you sign up for the Ideal Mindset Challenge, and I'll give you the link for that here in just a minute. If you sign up for that, you put in your name, your email address, that kind of thing. You'll get an email with a code that lets you into the private Facebook group. I set it up that way so that we can walk through this together. Every day, I'll go live for a few minutes. And because it's in a Facebook group and it'll be Facebook Live, it'll be recorded. If you can't join live, you just watch the recording. I'll give you homework for that day. You do the homework. Because it's a private Facebook group, it'll be a safe place. Right? You can post your homework. You can ask questions. You can make comments. And you can get feedback directly from me and others in the group, but it'll be a safe place for us to work through this together. That's the whole reason to do it in that way. So 5 days, 5 short lessons, 5 homework assignments, no cost other than your time and your effort. And again, the reason to do this, the attempt, or the goal that we have for the week is to, number one, understand who our ideal customer or our ideal client is, understand what they value, what makes them tick, how we can message in a way, how we can talk to them in a way that resonates with them, that helps them understand, my gosh, this is the service provider, this is the architect, this is the engineer, this is the attorney, this is the whatever for me. This is the person that feels like the right fit to help me solve my problem. That's what we're going to be doing over the week. Who are they? What do they value? How do we message to them? How do we let them know that they're right for us, we're right for them? Let's do something and move forward together. So that's the ideal mindset challenge in a nutshell. 5 days, 5 lessons, 5 homework assignments, all inside a group. No cost other than your time or your effort. I just put, if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitch, I just put the registration link up on the screen there. If you're on Instagram, the link is bit.ly.com or it's a bit.ly link. So bit.ly, bit.ly/ideal-MC. So bit.ly/ideal-MC, as in bit.ly Ideal Mindset Challenge. So if you want to know more, there's more information, of course, on that landing page. There's a little registration place where you put in your name and your email address. There's a video there to tell you more, but that's really the gist of the whole thing. I want to get us to the point where we are dealing only with and focusing only on and having a mindset of focusing only on those ideals, the things that are right for us, right? It's awfully hard to do our best work when we don't love the people that we're working for or the people that we're creating for. It's awfully hard for us to put in the work. Like I said at the beginning, I know that there are a lot of people out there that are very busy right now, but they're not necessarily busy on what they want to be busy on, right? They're not necessarily busy with doing work for the people that they really want to do the work for. It's hard to maintain consistency. It's hard to do our best work. It's even hard to be profitable when we're not doing the work that we want to do for the people that we want to be doing it for. And that's the point of this, right? I want to get it to the point where we can love our businesses again. It's hard to love our businesses when we're not working with the people that we want to work with. We're not working on the projects that we want to work on. I see you out there on Twitch. Am I practicing? No, I'm just talking about this ideal mindset challenge that I'm going to run next week for anybody that wants to join. Just riffing right now on the idea of the importance of focusing on our ideals. So who is your ideal client? Why is it so important, right? Why is it so important to focus only on that ideal client or that ideal customer? The one thing that I say a lot, you're just streaming drywall sections. That's awesome. The one thing that I say a lot is, once you understand who your ideal customer or ideal client is, you should not devote any resources to pursuing anyone but your ideal customer or your ideal client. Think about that for a minute. Don't spend any marketing dollars. Don't spend any of your business development capital building relationships, making phone calls, responding to RFPs or RFQs. Don't spend any of your resources, time, money, or otherwise, on anyone that is not your ideal client. That may seem like a radical idea to you. You maybe have never thought about that before. I happen to know that the vast majority of the people that I talk to, again, business leaders across the spectrum, I know that the vast majority of those people have never actually sat down and thought deeply about, developed a deep understanding, a deep empathy, even a radical empathy for who their ideal client is. We've got to get to that point. If we want to love our businesses, if we want to build profitable businesses, if we want to do our best work, we have to develop that ideal mindset. And it starts with an understanding of who that ideal client is. Let me give you one example, and then I'm going to let you go because it's lunchtime where I am. Maybe it's the same for you. But I have a client that I work with, a firm that I work with that does a lot of fire stations. And let's just imagine, it's an architecture and engineering firm. Let's just imagine that in 2021, they work on 10 fire station projects. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the fire chief is the client for each of those 10 fire station projects. Okay, so they do a lot of fire stations. A fire station is their ideal project type, certainly. They're working on 10 projects with 10 different fire chiefs. We know, because of human nature, that there is no way in the world that all 10 of those fire chiefs fall into the definition, into the category of ideal client, right? Some of those fire chiefs may know what they need, but they may not have the budget for it. Some of those fire chiefs may not understand the process, may not value the process of working with an architect or an engineer. So we're going to scratch them off the list as well. They didn't have the budget, we scratch them off the list. They didn't understand, we scratch them off the list. Some of those fire chiefs may not respect the process, may not respect design professionals for whatever reason, right? We're going to scratch them off the list as well. When we're thinking about our ideal client or our ideal customer, there are three facets. There are three facets for your ideal customer or your ideal client. Facet number one is demographic. What's demographics, right? It could be age, it could be job title, it could be we're going to keep location out of it. Could be marital status, whatever the reasons are. What are the demographics that make up our ideal client? Okay, so demographics is one facet. Geographics might be another facet. Do you focus only on a certain neighborhood? Do you focus only on a certain city? Do you focus only on a certain region? Do you focus on the entire world? Do you focus only on one platform? something like that. So we've got demographics, we've got geographics. Sorry, on Instagram, demographics and geographics. Got to use the left hand for that. So those are the first two facets. The third facet that has to go into our decision-making process, our understanding of our ideal clients, is psychographics. What do these people value? What do they believe? What is it that they hold near and dear to their heart? Do we align with those things? So demographics, geographics, and psychographics are the things that make up our ideal clients. And those are some of the things that we'll explore next week. Like I said, we'll go through this process during the Ideal Mindset Challenge. Let me put that back up on the screen for those of you that are on the Instagram or Twitch or YouTube. Ideal Mindset Challenge next week. 5 days. 5 short lessons. It'll be inside a private Facebook group. So I'll do the lesson live. If you can't make it live, that's okay. It stays there as a recording. You can consume it. You can watch it later. You can get the homework and do the homework. Post your questions, your comments, get my feedback right there inside the Facebook group. But we'll start out by understanding who your favorite client of all time. Let's just simplify it that way. Who's your favorite client of all time? Who's your least favorite client of all time, and why, right? What makes these people up? Let's look at the demographics, the geographics, and the psychographics of both of those people, and then start to build out this profile. How do we understand these people better? How do we find more of these people? And then finally culminating in, how do we develop some message, something that says to that ideal client that we're trying to find more of, that we are exactly the right fill in the blank, whatever it is that you do, we're the right person, the right professional, the right service provider. We have the right product for you. And that's really the gist of it. 5 days, Ideal Mindset Challenge. If you want to sign up for it, again, there's no cost other than your own time and your own effort. The landing page for it is bit.ly. So it's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/ideal, IDEALMC. So bit.ly/idealmc. That's where you can sign up for it. And if you've got any questions, right now you're seeing this on Instagram, if you're right here, or if you're up here, you're on Twitch, or you're on YouTube, or you're on LinkedIn. Any of those platforms you can message me on, and with any questions, it's really easy to find me on social media. I'm Jeff_Eccles everywhere. I do this for a living. I know you all know this. You've seen me before, but I developed the Build Your Brand system, the Build Your Brand systems of training. I host the Build Your Brand podcast. I host a daily live stream called Context and Clarity, where we talk about these things. And like I said, the reason that I decided to launch this challenge next week was because a group asked me to speak about profitability. A group asked me to come to their organization and talk about how to be profitable. And the twist was, I don't care what systems you have in place inside your firm, you cannot, if you have the best profit engine in the world inside your firm, you can't be profitable if we're not focused on the ideal and we're not putting the right fuel into that profit engine. So it starts there, and it also extends to the understanding that I know a lot of people are busy right now, but they're not doing the work that they want to do. And I've had a lot of people say, hey, I'm busy. That's great. We're surviving, but I'm not really super happy with my business right now. I don't just love my business right now. And that's my desire. I want to get back to loving our businesses. I want to get back to the point that you love your business again. And I think if we develop that ideal mindset and that focus on the ideal, we can get closer to loving our businesses again. So that's the whole purpose for this. Again, thank you for jumping in here. It's great to have a comment from Twitch, by the way, and I appreciate I can always count on you for that one. And I'm glad you jumped in today. But again, to all of you, Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, If you want to know more, just message me, but consider going through the Ideal Mindset Challenge with me next week. Like I said, there's no risk here. There's no cost here. It's just your time, your effort. I think going through this for 5 days, short lesson every day, live or recorded, homework, safe place to talk about it, ask questions, get comments on it. I think by the end of the week, you'll be a lot closer to loving your business again. And that's why I want to do this. I want to make sure that we do something together to start loving our businesses again together by the end of next week. So it starts March 15th, which is next Monday. So sign up right now. Use that link bit.ly/idealmc, bit.ly/idealmc. That's for all of you on Instagram. Everybody on Twitch and YouTube and LinkedIn, see it on the screen. So again, message me. Let me know what it is you need to know. Let me know what questions you have, what problems you have, what you're struggling with, so that we can do this together. I'm going to walk through this with you next week. So let's do it. Let's love our businesses again. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for watching this. And I hope you'll join, because I think it'll be a really good, beneficial effort for you and everybody else. And the reason I'm doing this as a group is because we can do this as a group and support each other, right? We can do this as a group and help each other get closer to loving our own businesses. So check it out, bit.ly/idealmc, the Ideal Mindset Challenge next week. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. It's Friday, I know. It's lunchtime for me, so I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world right now. And hopefully I'll see you for the Ideal Mindset Challenge Monday. Thanks. See you soon.